Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Transport Fever 2, and welcome back to Whitworth, welcome back to Bingham, welcome back to Norton, and all of the other towns that we have around here. Things are going pretty well, to be completely honest. We're sitting on $33 million, which means we can probably go and upgrade the vehicles on just about every line that we have, which is good news. But before we do that, I want to take a second and talk about something that's super off topic, just for a second here. If you don't know, I regularly play Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't stream it as much as I used to, but I used to stream it a lot. And what I do on Red Dead Redemption 2 is I play on these custom multiplayer servers where a bunch of people are role-playing as characters. So you're going in there and you're playing your character and you're doing the character's voice. It's kind of like role-playing in D&D, but it's in Red Dead. And my character has a certain way of speaking. He speaks with like sort of an old southern kind of thing, a gruff voice. And I've been doing that a lot lately. I've spent a lot of time doing this. The last couple of months, it's been every day. Usually, some days I'll skip it, but it's been a lot. I sat down to record this video, and for the last 30 minutes, I've been like battling myself in my head, and I'm trying to like remember how to talk normally, like even though talk, whatever I just said, even that, I'm like, wait, how do I say that? Because I've gotten so used to like sitting down at this microphone and talking like this, because that's the way my character talks in Red Dead Redemption, is how he sounds. And so I'm struggling to not talk like this, because most of the time I sit down to this microphone, this is how I sound, because I'm playing that character. So I'm having this crisis where I can't necessarily turn this off as quickly as I'd like to, and it's weird because I don't want to sit down to record a video and then be like, hey, welcome back to Transport Fever 2, we're going to get into this right here, it's 1918, yeehaw brother, let's get to it. It's weird, it's really weird, and I'm even that pause right there, I had to be like really conscious to like come back to the normal voice. I'm genuinely struggling to like maintain whatever my actual accent is, which is weird anyway. My actual accent is all over the place. There's bits of Scottish, bits of English, bits of American, bits of Irish. It's nuts. Anyway, that's a crisis that I'm having right now, and yeah, it's very, very strange. It's a very weird situation to be in. Anyway, about Transport Fever 2, here's what I want to do. I want to get some things down to Middlewich, and I want to get some things down to Whitehaven. Both of these places want food and they want construction materials. We are making a bunch of both of those things. So the way I see it, it's pretty simple, really. We just go ahead and start shipping, you know, food. I mean, we're already moving food down here, which is good. So Middlewich is getting a food delivery, but I want to move more down here. So that's going to be a goal right there. And when it comes to Whitehaven, do we have food coming down here? We actually don't. So we're going to want a food delivery to Whitehaven and then a bricks delivery to both of these guys. And I'm not 100% sure what way I want to do the bricks delivery just yet. We do have this depot right here where we're moving bricks and machines and tools and food down to Midhurst, and that's all being moved on a single line, which is interesting. Definitely interesting. We might want to look into improving the efficiency on that. I think what we'll do at the very least is go and just replace the 10 vehicles with the tarpaulin truck. I think that'll be a pretty good idea. It'll get things moving a little bit faster, and we can probably afford to put maybe 5 more vehicles on that line just to move more things more regularly. Now, what we could do is just build another depot and have it be the place, you know, where we move bricks from to take it down to Whitehaven and down to Middlewich. But what I'd kind of like to do is just look around here and see if there's anywhere else we can make construction material. And I mean, looking at it, the answer is not really. Although over by Petworth here, we do have another construction materials plant that wants things like slag, sand, marble, and stone. And if we can get, you know, maybe some slag or some sand in here, we can make 2 construction material for every 1 thing that we put in there. The only issue is I don't see anywhere nearby where we're going to be getting sand. Now, we are going to get slag from this steel mill if we wanted to get that going, which we could. We have some coal, we have some iron, we could run that over and then build I guess, a little bit of a bridge across here and right up to Petworth, but that is a bit of a distance. It's definitely a bit of a distance. I think that might be, I mean, it's closer to Middlewich than New Mills right now, but I guess looking at New Mills, there is so many bricks up here that I think what we can probably manage to do is just get a train line going down there. I think that's maybe what we do, is just have the train sort of branch off here in Whitworth and sort of come down to the south to Whitehaven into Middlewich and maybe loop back. Maybe it just terminates in Middlewich. I think that's probably for the best. We have $45 million as well, so it's not like we can't afford to do this. So let's just go ahead and get it done. Let's get a cargo terminus station in here, 2 tracks, 320 meters. And where exactly is it that wants the bricks? It's right up here. Now that's a little frustrating because I was hoping that I could potentially get this station to be right next to all of this, which I mean, I arguably can. If I get rid of this road and I get rid of this road, I guess what I could do is put this station sort of right in the middle of all of this, which is maybe a little much. But I also really want to see a town sort of grow around a train station, so I'm very tempted to do this. 1.7 million, removing a bunch of buildings if I do this as well, but I'm tempted. I'm very, very tempted to do this. It seems like it would be, well, it would be an idea. It would definitely be a choice to do this, and I think honestly, I'm gonna do it. I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put a train station right there. And I'm going to immediately expand this as well with a passenger platform, because we are probably going to bring some passengers down here. Now, interestingly, I think I have to bulldoze these buildings. So I'm going to pause the game while I do this, because I do want to get that passenger platform all the way across here up to the end. And then, of course, we want the 2 sections of track right here as well. I'm not really sure if I'm going to run a passenger train down here immediately, but I think having this set up with the option to do that is probably for the best. So we'll get this little section of platform here as well, and I think we might still have room for some buildings just underneath this, which is probably for the best. So we'll do that. And at this end of things, I mean, can I put a passenger building in here? I absolutely can. Bit of a weird spot for it. It's definitely a bit of a weird spot, but I think we'll just go ahead and do this right here. And that seems fine. There's also things like side entrances. We could do a little side entrance there if we wanted to. We can do the platform roof sections here as well, which I think we might as well do. And we'll do some of these stairs along the platforms as well, just so people can kind of go underneath it and do their thing. So that's going to be 1 train station in Middlewich. And then when it comes to Whitehaven, I mean, my choice here is going to be to knock out all of these buildings or just put it at the edge of town, which I think in this case, it's probably going to be for the best. Although the cargo is wanted right in the middle of town. So, ooh. Oh, I don't know. I could take out a few roads right there and I could potentially do this. I think it would be kind of cool. I'm going to be honest. I do think it'd be kind of cool to take out some of these buildings. It's very expensive to do this, but there's something about it. I just really want to see the town grow around the train station. So we'll go ahead and do, I guess, this guy right about here. I'm going to have to get rid of so many buildings to put the track in here, but that's going to be fine. It's all right. And let's also get rid of you, and let's configure this. That's the wrong one. That's the other station. Let me go and select this station right here, configure it, and I'm wondering if I can make this look a little bit better. So that's kind of our mid spot. If I take out all of these little buildings and I go to passenger, can I get a medium one in here? Unfortunately, no. So what we'll do is a small medium building. We'll do 3 of them. We'll do some side sections here, and that'll be just fine. We'll do actually another medium building just there, so it looks, you know, a little bit interesting with the with all the little clock towers. We'll go to cargo buildings. We'll do a main one here and here, and then we'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the side ones, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 right there. And I think that looks okay. It's interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. I think we should probably do some buildings on the other side as well, but I need to do the platform for the passengers first. So let's very quickly get that done. And just like that, we have a new train station in Whitehaven. We've got some new roads as well. We did have to take out a bunch of buildings over here, and I don't love how this looks, but once it's surrounded by buildings, it should be fine. We do have a decent little rail connection over here. It's not the nicest looking thing. It's a little bit of a spaghetti junction going on here. I don't love it, but again, I think it's kind of all right. And honestly, what this might end up doing is giving me the option of having a train line run up to New Mills. The only issue with that is that it doesn't go through Whitworth, it goes around it. So I think if we ever run a train line that goes from New Mills to Whitehaven and Middlewich, what I'm probably going to do is take out this little sort of bypass, have the trains go through Whitworth, so that you can basically travel to Whitworth and transfer onto a train that's going to bring you to Whitehaven, Middlewich, or to New Mills. And I think that'll be good. I think that'll work out. Now, what we do need to do is go ahead and connect Whitehaven to Middlewich over here, and it's just going to be a case of running a train line sort of past these farms, past this factory, and in over there. So what we'll do is go to tracks, make sure we've got parallel enabled down here, which we do. And we just want sort of a nice sort of wide turn. I'm kind of hoping to not lose too much speed here, but I think we're going to lose a little bit on that bend, which is totally fine. We'll try and maintain a good amount of speed here as well. We are seeing a little bit of terrain editing there, which I can probably smooth out shortly. We'll just continue this over here, and it might actually have to... Oh, it might have to be a little sharper than that, actually. So it sort of goes around the factory by the water. I think I'd kind of prefer that. In fact, let's take a look here and see what exactly this station's going to look like. Because what I think we'll do is bring this guy out to here and bring this guy out to about the same spot. And then if I get roughly the middle here, I can kind of go parallel like that. In fact, I might be able to do... No, that's not going to play all that nicely. So what we'll do is go roughly here. That's roughly parallel to the other tracks. We'll get a nice section. We'll take out these bits. And all I need to do is run you to there, run you to about the same spot there, and that's fine. So that gives us a good little connection to the station. This guy is just sort of going to run kind of around that depot, and I just need to connect it to that section of track. So what we'll do is take a lot of this back and see if we can't just get a decent little connection here. This turn might have to be a little bit sharper, which means the trains are going to be a little bit slower. But it's not really the end of the world, I think. So what we can do is grab this guy and just run it all the way up to here and see what that looks like. So that's 75 the whole way around, 75 the whole way around there. That's honestly okay. I think that's pretty good. We'll go ahead and get this connected just up here as well to that spot, $194,000. And that actually, yeah, that's kind of fine by me. I don't love what it's doing to the terrain here, but we'll fix that shortly. All we need to do for the time being is get this all situated. So the train is going to come in on the right side, meaning it needs to cross from this side to that side on the way out. So we'll go ahead and do this. And same here on the right side here. We want the train to sort of cross over to the other side right about there. I don't think it's going to let me do it. I think it is actually going to let me do it. But we'll go back a little bit and see if I can't just get a little something here. I don't think it's going to let me. What about here? That might be cutting it a little bit close. What about here instead? Yeah, that works fine. So that's going to give us a way for the trains to sort of cross back over. Everything should be fine there. And what we'll do is put a signal, honestly, back here, I think, for a signal. We'll turn off auto signaling here. And what we'll do is say that these guys... I mean, I don't really know what way to do this because the train's going to have to turn around, come out here. I guess these trains kind of have the right of way is the way that's sort of going to work. This might get really messy though. Oh, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I think what we'll do is put the signal here, and I think we'll put a signal here, sort of before that merger point. And we'll see how that plays out. And then we'll go and turn auto signaling on. We'll say, give me a signal right about there. It goes all the way along. We don't have anything close to this, which is okay. We'll do exactly the same thing here. So it goes all the way along this way as well, which is perfectly fine. And then all we need to do is work out this mess over here. So kind of a similar story. We'll have the train sort of stop here. These guys are probably just going to be able to go straight through. So we'll just do a signal. I want to say there and I want to say there. And that should be totally fine. On this side, I really don't want trains stopping and blocking roads here, but I'm going to probably have to do that. So a couple of signals right about there will do the job. And we'll have one right about here so the trains coming in don't go crazy. And that should be fine. That actually gives us everything we're going to need to set up a brick delivery line from good old New Mills going down to Whitehaven and Middlewich. So let's go ahead and get that going. We'll go ahead and say we want it to go from right about here. And we want it to come down to Whitehaven right about there. And we want it to go to Middlewich right about there. Let's go ahead and paint it up, I guess. I don't really know what color to paint it. Maybe just, it is New Mills, and New Mills was orange, if I remember right. So we'll do that. We'll go and say train cargo. We'll say new, I guess New Mills dash brick. I don't know what to call this, actually. I guess it's a Middlewich and whatever. We'll do brick delivery to, I guess, white dot / middle, something like that. So we kind of know what it is, and that should work out. And then looking at it, it's all using the same section of track right now, which I really don't appreciate. I really don't want it doing that. In fact, it looks like it's using that same section of track the entire way along as well, which is kind of a problem. It doesn't actually merge back across there at all. So why is it doing that? It is coming in the right side here. It just isn't merging back over. So we might just need to place a waypoint. We might need to put a waypoint, say here. And that is, yeah, that is definitely a waypoint. We'll go back to that line. We'll say after Middlewich, you go to the waypoint. And now it looks like it's behaving. It's not merging weirdly back here, is it? No, it is going where I want it to go. So that's absolutely perfect, actually. And I guess now we just need a train. The only issue is how the hell am I getting the train out there? Because the depot is down here. This guy is going to come along here. Yeah, I need a new depot is what I need. So let's go ahead and get ourselves one of those, I suppose. And I think we'll put it out this way. Go to buildings. We'll go to train depot. We'll swing this guy around a little bit. We'll put it, I guess, right about there seems fine. And we'll see what we can do with this. We'll see if we can connect it up in a way that doesn't look terrible. Although, to be honest, I don't really think it matters what the train depot connection looks like. It's not really going to be that busy. So let's just go ahead and get ourselves a new train. And I think what we'll do is we'll go for the usual A35. I think that's fair enough. We'll go ahead and paint it up in a color that's good for bricks. We'll go for like a nice dark red, which is going to be mean looking. And then for cargo, it's going to be the flat cars. And I think these guys, I'm thinking like a dark sort of gray color is going to look pretty cool. It's going to match the back of the train. And what we'll do is go for a capacity of, I think, 80 for the time being. We'll go ahead and buy it. And we'll go ahead and put that on the brick delivery to Whitehaven and Middlewich. And we'll see how that plays out. I'm kind of hoping for good things, but I'm not 100% sure. And honestly, that red was the right choice for that train. Good Lord. That's a really good looking train. Now looking here, annoyingly, I mean, there's nothing on this platform yet, but hopefully we do get a little something. And actually, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go ahead and buy another one of these trains because there's so many bricks sitting around. I think we can probably get away with it. So give me another one of these guys as well, and we'll see if that does us any favors. We'll see if it's a terrible idea. I'm hoping for good things. And let's see here. Yeah, we do. We have one brick waiting to go. That's better than none, I guess. So while we're waiting for that line to start working optimally, let's go ahead and take a look at Whitworth, because we have a crazy number of people wanting to go to Bingham right now. But on top of that, we have a crazy number of people wanting to use public transport, which is a bit of an issue. We also have a crazy amount of stuff sitting here. Whitworth Tools Delivery is also handling food in Whitworth as well. And I think what we can do here is just replace these guys with the tarpaulin truck. I think we can duplicate these guys, and they're moving food, they're moving tools. I'm gonna just paint these guys in like a light green color just so they look a little bit different. That way, you know, not everything's the same. This guy is, what line are you? Whitworth Brick Delivery. So the brick delivery line isn't really doing anything, which is interesting. We might need to get rid of that line. We might need to optimize it a little bit further. But at the very least, we have managed to, you know, upgrade that one line, and hopefully we'll see a little bit less food just sort of sitting around there. I'm not too sure, but, you know, we'll pay attention to it. When it comes to the Whitworth Loop, it is surprisingly busy. So I'm going to manage the vehicles, and I'm just going to in fact, do I want to duplicate them, or do I want to expand the loop? I think I want to expand the loop, to be honest. That seems like it'd be a really good idea. So, all right, here's what I think we're going to do. Let's go to buildings. Let's go to bus and tram stop. Let's get some coverage down here. We'll get some coverage up here. We'll get some coverage on that little street. We'll get some coverage on this little street. We'll get some coverage kind of coming up in here. We've got the Albert Road already. We can go down this way. We're not really hitting the main street, which I don't love. I don't love the fact that we're not hitting that. So we'll come off of this one over towards the main street and then kind of back down and around. So what we want to do is manage this line, and we want to go and say, take out, I guess, we want to take out stops 2, and we want to take out Church Lane. We want to take out George Street. And I'm going to recolor this to bright blue for a second so I can see where it is. And then after Mill Lane, we want to come down here. We want to go to, I wanted to go to this guy, but I've got it on the wrong side of the road. So let's go back in and place a stop on the correct side of the road. And then we'll go to, I guess, the stop on the right there. We'll come up this way. We'll go to this guy. We are skipping this one, which I don't love. I'm tempted to have it sort of loop around like that, which is a bit weird, but I think, oh wait, no, I have a stop up there that I need to worry about. Never mind. Let's just continue up that way then. We have Albert Road, so we want to go to Albert Road next. We want to come down this way. And then we have King Street, West Street. We have Richmond Street, back to Mill Lane. So that covers a lot. It just leaves this sort of middle section a little bit bare, which isn't ideal. It's definitely not ideal. This is a pretty busy stop right here. In fact, I think this one might be the one that has the, no, it doesn't have the Whitworth one, or the, whatever the other one was. There's one of these that has that overlap. I think it's Mill Lane, yeah, Whitehaven to Whitworth. Okay, so that's fine. We still have that overlap. That might actually just be fine. So let's go ahead and just remove the stops that we aren't using. We're not using you. We're not using you. We're not using this one. And are there any others that we're not using? It doesn't look like it. That should be fine. Let's get it painted bright pink again. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see if it's more popular or less popular. It is going to be a bit longer, so the frequency might go down, the rate might go down a little bit. Let's go to manage vehicles, and we'll just duplicate all of them. Longer line, double the vehicles, rate has increased, the frequency has decreased. That's what we're looking for. So hopefully that's going to be a popular change to good old Whitworth. And then when it comes to this guy, I'm genuinely surprised at how successful this passenger line has been. So I think manage vehicles and honestly just duplicate it. Give me another train. 560 on the total passengers, frequency of 8 minutes. That seems pretty solid to me. We could probably expand the trains to carry more passengers as well, but I think really at this point it's a matter of, you know, making the trains a bit more frequent. And I mean, even here, even this place, Norton is, or sorry, Bingham is absolutely packed as well. Now, in other news, this new bricks line is actually starting to move things down towards Whitehaven and Middlewich. So we're going to start hopefully making a little bit of money off of that line in the not too distant future. And hopefully that's going to help these towns to grow that little bit further. We are losing people in Whitehaven right now, which is not exactly ideal. I don't necessarily love that, but it's just sort of the way of things. And hopefully it'll bounce back. Hopefully we can get some food in here, we can get the bricks in here, and it will bounce back a little bit. When it comes to Middlewich, it's continuing to grow, which is great news. I'm really, really pleased that Middlewich is growing. We got some buildings popping up alongside the station, which is pretty cool. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I think what I want to do, to be honest, is I mean, we're going to get bricks in here. So I think at this point, really, it's just a case of food for Whitehaven. And I mean, looking at this place, I feel like we could probably get some food out of here down to Middlewich. I'm curious though, if I go here, so food delivery, where is this line coming from? Oh, it is. Yeah, it's going from here, isn't it? Okay. So, I mean, is that even a popular line? It has a rate of 46, but there's not really much food sitting around there. I almost wonder if we could do something a little bit better. We do have these 3 farms down here. We could, if we had somewhere that we could go and, you know, turn this grain into food down here, that would be ideal. We do have a livestock farm. So if we could, you know, turn that livestock into meat and then turn that meat into food, that would be kind of ideal. We do have a meat processing plant here. We do have a livestock farm here. It's a little bit of a distance though. I don't necessarily love it. And I'm not seeing anywhere close by where we can actually do anything interesting with the meat that we would get anyway. So I think what we'll do for the time being is let's go and expand this road down here. So let's bring this guy sort of out that way. Let me go ahead and just do this. Not that. That's not what I wanted to do. Let me do this. Because that now gives us a straight shot from this food processing plant over to Whitehaven without having to go down and through Middlewich. We also just got a plane. I want to play with that as quickly as I can. I want to get planes in here as quickly as we possibly can. So here's what I'm thinking. I think what we need to do... Ooh. I know I'm getting distracted here, but I've just noticed this is no longer one big icon. That's interesting. So production here right now is 300. The rate on this line is 343. Yeah, so this line is now more efficient than this factory. Right. Pin U, manage vehicles. Let me go and sell 2 of them. And that's going to bring us down to 331. Let me go and sell, I want to say 3 of them. And that's going to bring me down to 310. Let me sell 2 more of them. That's going to bring me down to 297. So that's fine. That's going to keep us just under the production of this factory, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So that's going to keep us good. Now, what I'm thinking we could do with the planes is potentially go ahead and set up a little airport and then pick a town just, you know, way down here. We could go for, we have so many places down here. Walmer, for example, wants tools and fuel. We could load that up on a plane. We could bring it down here. Wadebridge wants, you know, food and machines. We could load that up on a plane, bring it down here. Swanley, food and machines. Blackburn, we've got Whaley Bridge here. We could have a lot of fun with it. We absolutely could. And I think that's kind of what I want to do. And I'm tempted to pick somewhere that's really far away, like this place. Witham or Witham. One or the other. Probably Witham. It doesn't matter. Either way, it wants machines, it wants food. We have plenty of that. The only issue is that there is a reasonable way to sort of produce food down here, so that might be a little bit silly. Rochester. That would be a good one, I think. I actually really like the idea of bringing just food and machines down to Rochester via plane because I can. So we might do that. That, I think, is kind of going to be my goal. But for the time being, like I said, let's get food down to Whitehaven. So let's take a look. Where exactly do they want food? They want food right in the middle of town, which works beautifully for me. Let's go and set up a new line, unless we already have one, which I don't think we do. So road cargo, Whitehaven is what we're looking for. So let's grab you and let's go all the way over to you. Let's get that the right color. And it is road cargo. It is Whitehaven. It is food. Oh my God. New mills. I don't care what you want. I want to name my line properly. Whitehaven food delivery is what it's going to be. And then we just need some trucks. So let's go ahead and grab those. We can get them from, I guess, Nordson will do the job for the trucks. So buy some vehicles. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to want maybe, honestly, 10 of them. It's a pretty long line. And removing food. So let's go for, I don't know, let's go for like a nice light green, I guess. Like something like this. It's not the most pleasant color. Maybe something a bit nicer. That's a bit better looking. And let's go to good old Whitehaven food delivery. And then what we need to do is just make sure that line's set up properly. So Whitehaven food delivery, manage the line. At Bingham branch, you are loading up exclusively on food and then unloading everything elsewhere. And then I guess while we're here, let's also go to the Middlewich delivery line, manage those vehicles and paint them. I don't know if it's the same color of green, but we'll go for something like that and it'll be just fine. So that's just gonna look nice. It's gonna just look nice having some nicely colored vehicles sort of coming and going. And that's hopefully gonna do good things for us. Now looking here, they did actually get some bricks, which is great news. The place still isn't growing, but that's okay. And then Middlewich also got some bricks, which is great news. It is still growing, which is even better news. And so that's pretty good. That makes me pretty happy. This right here is still crazy busy. 418 people on board the trains right now is it's kind of wild. Almost $6 million on the balance of this line as well. That's also kind of wild. It's a very profitable line, which I very much appreciate. And I mean, if we look at the vehicles, I'm gonna get another one. I'm gonna get another one. We can afford it. It's making crazy money. So we'll have 5 trains on this line, a frequency of 6 minutes, a capacity of 700 passengers. It's a lot, but I think it's worth it. And then looking up here, this place, we're starting to get more bricks on the Whitehaven Middlewich line, which is lovely. That's going to be really, really good for us. That's going to get, you know, more money out of those towns, more growth out of those towns as well, which is what we're looking for. And we actually have some apartment buildings popping up here. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't realize we got to 1920 already. Not bad at all. I think we might actually have to slow the game down soon and, you know, just take stock of what we're doing. Looking at Bingham as well, 1,210 people, some really tall buildings in here. That's so cool. I absolutely love it. I really, really do. I love how busy Bingham has become. And then Norton has a couple of buildings, nothing too crazy here, but over 1,000 people. That's pretty cool. Middlewich has a couple of tall buildings as well. Almost 1,000 people. It's definitely getting there. Whitehaven as well, actually, has a pretty tall building right next to the train tracks too. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. That, you know, more power to them, I guess. Oh man, I love this. I really do. I really do love this. I'll tell you what though, this line here, we need to be moving more tools, I think. Now I did upgrade these trains, but I'm wondering if I should get a third one. I almost feel like we could probably get away with it. So the rate on delivery is 183 right now. Production here is 260. And this is 239. Okay, so if I was to get... Wait, no, that's not the one I'm looking for. If I was to get you, so can I get this to 239? I feel like another train is going to bring that up way too high. So it'll probably bring it up to like 918, 27, probably about 276 if I get another train on here. I mean, we could test it, I guess. If I just go to manage vehicles and I grab another train, I want to see if I'm right. I want to see if it goes to 276-ish. 280. Yeah, close enough. So my math was pretty much on point there. That does mean that at times some of the trains are going to be running beneath capacity, especially since this place is not doing as well as I'd like it to. It doesn't actually have as much steel as I'd like, which I don't love. This place is running at excess of iron right now. Interesting. Okay, we just got a bunch of new things as well. Not bad. So you have way too much iron, not enough coal. I don't love that. What's going on? Let's have a look here. So coal is currently 265. Iron is 273. These guys also haven't been upgraded. So what I think we'll do is just replace these with the... I mean, if we go to cargo, just go for the the tarpaulin truck, I think. 4.3 million. It's a lot of money, but I think it's going to be worth it. It's going to bring those rates up quite considerably. And as we know, mines have a capacity of 600 in terms of production. So 370 on production there. Same amount of vehicles, just faster. And same story over here. Let's go ahead and replace you guys just like so. That gives us 379. That's a little bit more in line, to be honest. I think what I'll do is I'm going to sell one of these guys just to bring that number down so they're even closer to being in line. And that should lead to more production of steel, which is what we're looking for. If we could get this place to level up, that would be fantastic. And I guess what we can also do is these guys have already been upgraded, so there's not a lot we can do there. All right, that should work out nicely for us. The only thing I'm thinking is that the vehicles are struggling to get in here. So let's just thicken up some of the streets here, just so some of the vehicles can kind of pass each other if they really want to, which is going to be good for us. And then when it comes to this place, I mean, we could configure it to have a few more platforms, which might make it easier for these guys to kind of get around a little bit. I think this might be a little bit excessive, but I'm willing to kind of give it a shot and see what happens, I think is what we'll do here. So coal to steel, manage that line, Midhurst Annex, allow it to go to pretty much every platform and see how that goes. Iron to steel, exactly the same story, and then steel to tools, exactly the same story. So they can all go to whatever platform they want. And that might help them out a little bit. It'll help them just sort of filter through as they need to. My only concern is whether or not I should do more street access, because I could do a little entrance here, and I can get one sort of, you know, down here as well. That one might be interesting. That one might be really interesting. That would be kind of interesting as well. Let me give that a shot. I want to see what that does for us, and I want to see, let's look at these lines. So yeah, we do now have some kind of coming in. They're, you know, they're going to loop around in a bit of a weird way, but I would imagine that's going to do good for us. That's going to help sort of filter them through, let them do their thing, get out of there whatever way they need to go. It might cause some tailbacks, but I think a little bit less traffic coming down here. That's only going to be a good thing, I think. Okay, this took a little bit longer than I cared to admit, but this whole thing should now be working the way I want it to. We also just got a new bus, we got a new plane. That's kind of cool. This whole thing is now completely separated though, which is good. We have coal coming in up here, we have iron coming in down here. There's no overlap in the vehicles, which is fantastic news. We have the pickup for steel right here. So all in all, we're actually doing pretty well, to be honest with you. This is actually exactly what I was looking for, a completely separate system. So in theory, steel production should go up really, really nicely. We do have traffic lights here though, which I think might slow things down a little bit. And I do think I can turn those off. I am fairly sure. I want to say I can. Yes, I absolutely can turn traffic lights off. So I'm going to do that and just see what happens. I don't think we need them, basically, is what I'm looking at here. I just don't think we need them. I think it's just going to slow things down a little bit. And in theory, we should just see this entire system go really, really nicely, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So that's good. That is absolutely fantastic. Hopefully Midhurst will continue to produce tools amazingly, and hopefully we're going to continue to see some growth down here. Now, when it comes to Whitehaven, it is growing again, which is good. It's got a really good supply of bricks. It's got a pretty good supply of food as well, which is fantastic news. So that's exactly what I was looking for. And when it comes to Middlewich, it is growing as well. Almost 1,000 people in here as well, which is lovely news. Got a nice line of houses next to the train right there. We've got the place growing amazingly. Bingham is... I feel like Bingham's grown out towards this coal mine. I don't remember that coal mine actually being there. That might have been recently established, which means, like, living right here, if you look that way, it's like, oh, I live in the suburbs. I've got my nice, you know, semi-detached house, you know, a great view down this main road here towards the city. And then you kind of look the other way and it's like, you know, it's not all that great. Just kind of coal everywhere, really. That's kind of the problem. Just coal, just everywhere, just in the air, it's in the ground. to the food. So I think we're getting to the point where we can probably wrap things up for today. I think we've made a pretty substantial change to some of our towns, but I do want to take a look here. We're at 3.9 million on that passenger line. The tools line is 3.1 million. This coal to steel line, you know, we're getting multiple lines making multiple millions of dollars, which is amazing. I absolutely adore that. Even this bricks to Whitehaven and Middlewich line is making some money. But what I think I'm gonna do, because we have $67 million right now, is I'm noticing that there's actually a line down here. This oil line is still using horses. In fact, there's a few lines still using horses. So what I want to do very quickly is just go down the line here, and I'm going to replace everything. Basically, we have 88 vehicles here. I'm about to replace those. This line is logs. It's 562. So let's replace all of those. That now gives us 899 on the old rate there. The highest that rate needs to be is about 600. That's the highest production you can get on a forest. So we'll sell 18 vehicles, bring us down to 714. We'll just go ahead and sell another, I want to say 10 of these probably, to bring us down to about 600. Probably about 612. That should be fine. Arguably I could sell 2 more, and that gives me 592. So that's kind of what we're looking for there. I basically just want to upgrade everything because we're kind of at the stage where we can. These guys, for example, there's 64 of them. Replace those. We're moving, what are we doing? Slag to bricks to delivery. I think these guys can do it. Yeah, flatbeds can move oil sand. Hold on a minute. No, we need to use these guys. So replace those, and we'll go and kind of just do exactly the same thing. Whitworth planks to machines. It can be about 199. So manage these vehicles and replace them with flatbeds, and that'll give us a rate of 319. So let me sell, I want to say probably 10 of these we can get away with selling, and that'll give us 228. So that's fine. And then as for the rest of them, I'm not really going to micromanage them too much. I'm just going to go down the line and replace everything else, especially the guys that are moving things via horse right now. So this is a steel one. We'll go ahead and replace it with a flatbed. And what we're likely to see here is a good amount of imbalance. We're going to start seeing some things get thrown off a little bit, but that's fine. That's kind of intentional. I'm wanting to see, you know, what gets thrown off a little bit, what gets kind of crazy, and we'll rebalance it, you know, if and when we need to. I'm not really super stressed about it. So I just want to get rid of the horses. We have, you know, iron to steel getting moved by horses. Still swap those out for trucks. We've got some food delivery here. Swap that out for some trucks as well. We've got oil to plastic. Swap that out for some trucks. I can't believe we've still got some really old horses here. These are 64-year-old horses. That's I don't know a lot about horses. You know, I can clean up horses. I can get them out to lunge them and all that. I can look after a horse. I could never ride a horse. Let me tell you that right now. I'm terrified of horses. I'm not gonna lie. I was 8 years old. I was put in the back of a horse because my aunt rode horses all the time, and yeah, they like, I can't remember who it was. Someone picked me up. I was 8 years old. They put me in the back of a horse, and I was sat there clutching like onto the reins for dear life. I was terrified, and you know, everyone's yelling, not yelling, but they're speaking so I can hear them. Like, don't worry, just stay calm, just relax. The horse isn't gonna do anything, nothing like that. Just take it easy. It's a very gentle horse. And it was genuinely about 20 years later. It was last year. I was like 28 years old. It was 20 years later. I brought that up to my aunt as like the reason that I never went into riding horses, and I never like really got into it. I like looking after them. They're actually really like amazing animals, and they're really like, you get the right horse, it's like really gentle despite being this absolute giant. And I brought this up to my aunt like last year, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of why I never got into it, because that like just terrified me. And she was like, yeah, it terrified me too. And I was like, what do you mean it terrified you as well? You were there. You were saying it's fine. Don't worry. Don't freak out. You'll be fine. And she was like, yeah, I was lying. That horse was, I didn't know. We didn't know at the time. Like she didn't know, but that horse was actually really temperamental. And when they set me on the horse like started walking. It wasn't like I was holding onto the reins. I wasn't moving them. I wasn't like trying to get the horse to move, but the horse just decided it was going to the field with me on it. So it was, yeah, it was an experience is what that was. It was definitely an experience, but yeah, I don't know. There's something about horse. I just like them. There's something about it. I was talking about Red Dead Redemption at the start of this video. I guess it's kind of fitting that we're circling back to discussion about horses, because one of my favorite things about that game is just like chilling and going out and riding a horse around and listening to like the sound of its hooves on cobbled streets and stuff like that. It's something that's just really, I don't know, calming for whatever reason. I also realize I'm talking about horses while replacing, tediously might I add, every single passenger vehicle here. I just realized that this is like the weirdest part of this video. We were like making really good progress the whole way through, and now it's like horses and replacing buses. That's, man, I make the best videos on YouTube. I don't care what anyone says. Oh man. The good news is we've replaced all of our passenger buses though, so those have been upgraded. We've upgraded all the horses, so we're gonna be throwing a bunch of things off, but in theory, we should be making good money. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see how things go. We'll see, you know, where the balances kind of change a little bit. We're gonna start seeing more of one thing get moved, more of another thing get made, and we'll have to rebalance that in the next episode. But I think what I'm gonna do in the next episode as well is I do kind of want to, I want to do some stuff with planes. I think that'd be really cool. The planes aren't going to be crazy fast, but it's like I said, I think going down to like way down to the bottom of the map, all the way down to, you know, Rochester, moving some food down there, moving some machines down there. I think that'll be really cool because it's going to help this place to grow. Getting some public transport down here will help that place to grow as well. And then the plane can also serve as a passenger connection from Rochester all the way up to, honestly, where do I want to go? I'm thinking actually, if I want to do passengers to Whitehaven and Middlewich, I could probably do the passenger line out of Bingham, have it sort of cut down here and connect. And so you can go to Bingham, Whitehaven, and Middlewich. I think this right here could be a really good spot for a little airport, or this right here could be a really good spot for a little airport. And then we can just have, you know, you can get a plane to Bingham, you can hop in a train that's going to take you to any of the other cities in the area. I think that'll be a really cool idea. That is exactly what we're going to have to do. So that's going to be the plan for the next episode. We're not doing that today. That is a lot of work and that is a lot of wood. Oh my God. Yeah, we need to rebalance some things around here is what we need to do. Anyway, we'll do that in the next episode. I think we've made a pretty good change here. We've got Whitehaven, almost 1,000 people. We've got Middlewich, just over 1,000 people. That's amazing. I love that to bits. I'm so pleased with the growth that we're seeing around here. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.